First of all, I'll show you where to jack the car. So in the front. So this is the oil pan here. You don't want to jack there, but there's another circle right in front of it. My Pittsburgh low profile jack could just barely get to it. But yeah, jack there, and then I have the jack stands at the two sides and some safety wood under the wheels. Then after that, there's the plastic under tray there. There's like 6 small screws that you take off for that. And then this piece is up here. It's bolted to the transmission there and the exhaust there on both sides. So you'll need a 14mm wrench and another wrench or impact to get that off. And then these two for the transmission are also 14. And then we're looking at the pump right here. Alright, so we do have to move these pipes to get to the motor there. So I'm going to drain the transmission fluid. That's the drain over there, I'm pretty sure. But this is the level checker thing. It's a 4mm hex. So I'm going to take that out and drain the fluid. So I was just going to take that out, and I expected to not see anything because I thought that's where you check the fluid level. But it's been a minute and I'm still getting more stuff draining out of it. Okay, there's the end of it. I'm going to take this off anyways, though. As expected, we're getting more fluid draining out of there. Okay, I put the 2 plugs back in, and now I'm going to unscrew these 2 banjo bolts. They are 19mm. Okay, so it turns out those banjo bolts, the top one was way too tight for me to get. I don't know how I'm supposed to get that. So I put them back on, and I'm going to try just removing these soft parts of the tubes because they go from here to here. And I think that might give me enough room once this is free to kind of go backwards this way because there's a bit of a cavity up there, and then snake it out forward this way. But we'll see about that. So I have to get off these. I think there's 4 bolts that I've seen online for the pump, securing it to the transmission. And people say online to take out the top bolts first, so I'm gonna try to find those. They look like 12mm. I got the top 2 bolts loosened. I had to use a combination of like different ratchets and sockets to get the right sizing because they're kind of deep in there past the little hump there. And then I had to take out the bolt that holds the lines onto the pump. That'll have to come out anyways, but I had to get at it to move the lines slightly away so that I can get a wrench on this one. So I got that loose. I got all of them loose. Now I just have to take the bolts all the way out. I've kind of been fighting with these banjo bolts because the top one was really tight, but eventually with trying enough different wrenches I finally got one that moved it a little bit, and now it's only finger tight, so I just have to reach my finger up there and loosen it by hand, just pushing a little bit at a time. I don't know if you can see that, but basically it's like this, but with the top one. I'd suggest doing the top one first, because if you do the bottom one first, you're going to have this oil dripping on your hand the whole time. And with both of them loose, we can swing it on out of the way, and there's a washer here on the bottom side, and on the other one it fell off into my oil drain pan, so I'll have to fish that out and make sure it gets back on. I'm just gonna let this hang down here. And I guess we don't really have to disconnect these tubes unless we want them out of the way. I'll have to decide whether I want to do that when I try to get the pump out. Well, let's try that now. It's a 10mm, and that's one of the ones that holds the case together, I think. So we'll have to get that out eventually anyways. Broken loose, and now my ratchet doesn't ratchet anymore. Okay, there's that bolt. Now we'll kind of get it out. Kind of, but it's still very held on by... Oh, okay, there's like a vent tube or something that's rubber tube that's barely held on. So I took out this bolt here that holds the case together to get it past. It was sitting on this part of the exhaust, and then up here there's this thing that connects to this rubber hose. Doesn't seem like there's any clamp on it, but with that off, this is kind of just hanging here, and there's a bunch of plastic clips that hold the wires on here, so I don't know if I'm gonna try to get those off. Well, I got there's 4 bolts that hold the case together, and took the front off, and took that out onto the bench, and it doesn't seem to have any bearings in it, so I'll have to keep taking this apart to find where the bearings are, or maybe I'll look online. We'll see. With all the screws out, also I took out this one, but couldn't get the other one out, so can't take the connector off, but there was 3 or 4 screws around it, and then now I can just take a screwdriver here and split these apart. Yeah, I keep going back and forth on whether I want to remove the cabling or not, because if I do, then all of these like clips and stuff along the whole way, I'll need to like break and, I don't know, refix or put a zip tie or something, but I'd rather it be all factory. But anyways, if you do, or if I do end up doing it, this guy's the air box. It's bolted in there with 3 10mm. Take that out, and then these, I'm almost certain, are the 2 connectors that go to that transmission fluid pump. One has this like metal looking braided cable, and the other has this 5 colors there. I guess those 5 colors probably match up to the one down there in the pump. So then it's connected to this guy with the fins on the back. So let's see how I... Okay, so again, if you're taking this apart, which I guess I am now, this cable, there's just a simple push clip thingy at the downward side there. And this other one, it has this like white button. You have to like push that up, and then you have to lift this whole... Actually, here, I'll put it back on, just for fun. Okay, so this is the normal way it'll be. If you take that up, then you can start swinging this darker gray piece out, but you need to get it at like 90 degrees up. Except there's this little black clamp thingy here, so you have to like kind of bend that down and bend the white piece up to get around that, and then push pretty hard, make it feel like you're gonna break it. Push really hard, maybe well. Get it to click like that, and then it comes out. Alright, sorry for not recording while I was doing it, but I got this whole thing out. These are those plugs I was just showing, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 clip things. This was clipped in next to the engine, and there was a plug plugged into it, so I had to take it off and take the plug out. But now I got it out. There's the bearing. It's all rusted in there. I'm gonna try to press it out or something. Actually, I just realized that there's a bit of a crack here, so I'm gonna try to pry that apart, and if we get that apart, then that'll be easy. There we go, got it apart. So there's another O-ring here that goes in like there. That's really dirty, so I'm gonna have to clean that off. Inside here, that must be a seal, kind of like a rear main seal type thing. So this seal, it goes around here. We're gonna have to get a new one of those. Don't know where. Alright, I just got the bearing out just by putting it on the blocks and hitting it with a punch. Perfect timing because the mail truck is here. Okay, I've got my 2 replacement bearings here. They are different part numbers because they're different heights, and the inner circle is a different size. This one that came out of the housing there is going to be this one on the left. Okay, I just put it in the vise, and was on there, and I used 2 screwdrivers on both sides to pry it up. It's kind of annoying because this is like a big magnet. Cleaned out this because it was all rusty. Just using a kind of somewhat fine metal brush on a Dremel tool. Clean that. I still gotta finish this up, and not touching this because that's tight tolerances, I think. So, yep, getting it back together. Okay, putting it back together. This is hard to get clean, but yeah, I'm just gonna go for it. There is like a washer thing that's a little bent up, and I'm pretty sure it's supposed to go back in there, so I dropped it in, and now we'll just put this in. It kind of gets sucked into place by the magnetics. And then, well, we can't really spin it now because it's not fully upright. That's what the other bearing is for. So I'm going to get that together, put it on, and make sure that spins freely. Alright, big update. I got the pump back on, all put together. Got these lines on. Gotta make sure you put a washer on both sides. There's the gasket in here. That's pretty tricky to get on there. And then I reconnected these lines, except this line is what the service procedure says to disconnect for filling the transmission fluid. Got all these wire clips back in. I was afraid I wouldn't be able to, but I think I got them all. Yeah, it's all together. So this here, okay, now we're gonna get to the transmission fluid filling part. So this here is the check thing. There's like a straw that goes up into it, so it shouldn't leak out of here. Well, I guess it's also empty, but we're gonna leave that empty for now, or leave the plug out of there. And then you're supposed to take this inner hose, which goes up to the top, or the top one of the banjo bolts there. You're supposed to pump fluid into this until it starts coming out of here. That's step 1. So I didn't see anyone online suggesting anything other than Toyota's ATF-WS, but I decided to be a guinea pig and try out Aisin's ATF-0WS. So I've got that here hooked up with my hand pump going into the rubber part of this line that goes to the transmission. I put this clamp on to hopefully hold it. It seems like it's well, it can slide in and out, but I think it'll be liquid tight enough. Maybe drip a few times, but it'll work. And I'm gonna fill it up until it comes out the hole over here. So I pumped it until it started draining out of here, and now the next instruction is to plug that hole and then pump in 1.2 quarts more, and then reconnect the transmission line. So I just used the markings on the side of the bottle here, and you can see the level. I used that to figure out when I added 1.1 liters. I'm gonna put this line back on here. Then we're gonna turn it on and take out the plug, let it drain, and yeah, then put the plug back in. Also, while you do this, make sure you have the car level. So I have the back jacked up there. Alright, here's my setup. You have to watch the line pressure, because in the instructions it says like many times you have to make sure the line pressure is off. The level can't be checked if the line pressure is on. I gotta have the transmission oil temperature here. It's T/M oil temperature. And I put it in degrees C, so metric, just because that's supposed to be 30 to 40 in Celsius, so that's easy numbers to remember. So the car is off right now. I'm going to start it. Actually, the AC is supposed to be off, so might as well do that. So yeah, I'm going to start it, and it says to go through the gears go through the gears a few times, and then let the engine idle until you see that be 30 to 40. And I'm pretty sure you're supposed to keep it running, go below, take out the level plug, let it drain a bit, then put it back in, then you're done. So let's do that now. See what happens. Go through the gears here. Okay, so we just hit 30 degrees there. Now we'll go underneath and release the plug, which means I'm probably going to get stuff on my hands. Hot stuff. Okay, it just drained a little bit, so that's concerning. I feel like it should drain a little more. Okay, so since it didn't come out in a stream, that means it's low. So I shut it off, but I'm gonna turn it back on again, wait for it to get to 30 degrees if it's cooled down at all. Probably hasn't. But then you're allowed to, at this point, for some reason, fill it through that level check hole. So I'm gonna hope that this goes in there, and you're supposed to not push it too far. Not more than 30 millimeters, I think? 30 centimeters? I don't know which one. I should look at that again, but that's what I'm going to try to do. Okay, trying not to hit the exhaust here, I'm going to take out that thing. I'm watching the temperature here, and fill it up. Okay, I think that's what I want to see. Let's wait for that to slow down. We're at 34 degrees. Maybe I did too much. There we go. Stop the stream. Okay, I'm gonna call that. Okay, so after the code didn't go away, I was looking around in here and I found out that I forgot to plug in these two connectors that go to from the motor controller to the motor. So after plugging those in, I got inside the car and I think I didn't even have to clear the codes. And as you'll see, it starts up. Well, it starts up without starting the engine, and no error codes, no check engine light, so it's all good. Seems to be the fix.